Please save me." His eyes stared at his reflection from the wet plate. He couldn't get that memory off of his mind now. He couldn't get that moment to disappear even if he wanted to, but at the same time, it was a cry for help, a message for him, to be the one to bring salvation for her. But how can he give salvation if he has no salvation? There is no salvation for someone like him. No end, nor a beginning. His eyes softened up. What did she mean? If the day were to come, would he be forced to stop her? He can only chuckle in self-deprecation? Yeah, the day will come where if she starts her attack on mankind, he'll be forced to deal with the issue, no matter the challenge, no matter the struggle, because in the end, the hero has to defeat the antagonist, and he is the hero who has to save the world. It's always been like that, good or bad, misjudged or manipulated. He is a hero. As a guardian, is forced to slay those that are threats to mankind's survival, because that's the path of a hero of justice. Kill 1 to save 10, kill 10 to save 100, 100 for 1,000. He winced as he held his head, a frown on his face as these conflicted feelings continue to eat him. Why is he so conflicted against killing someone he's not remotely close to, someone he could care for less about? The way she spoke to him to save her, it was as if she was asking for him to personally be the one to end her. That smile, that genuine bright smile of hers, burned into his soul. And he knows that smile all too well because it harbored the same bright smile of Emir Kiritsugu had when he saved him. How cruel, having that smile on your face despite knowing what the future between us will lead to, Archer said with a chuckle. He knew that Morgan knew. If the world truly wants to be saved, she'll have to die since she made herself become the antagonist. Humans would not feel satisfied until she ends up dead, and monsters will not feel satisfied until Artoria ends up dead. It goes both ways. Both sides will not be happy. Each side lost much. You cannot gain what you have lost, unless there's a way to get both sides to come to terms with each other. But he's a realistic. She knows such things won't happen. Archer. Baoban Sith, Archer replied with his monotone voice. I see you've gotten closer to my mother, Baoban said. Surprisingly to Archer, she did not give him that snappy or barking attitude he knows of her. Instead, she was talking like a rational being for once. You can say that, he agreed with her. They indeed did get close, more than he anticipated. He never would have thought of himself to get close to someone like Morgan Lefay. To be truthful, he expected their relationship to just stay as master and servant. Honestly, I'm glad. Oh, now that's surprising. I haven't seen her act this lively for a while now. She's my mother who adopted me. And her being happy, I guess you may say I'm glad. It's natural for a child to want to see their parents' joy. Family love is an important factor. You always act like you got to stick up your ass. Brat. Archer's eye twitched but calms himself. Fufu Baoban chuckled at the reaction she wanted to see. I thank you for being with her. You could have refused so many of her orders and even just tried to kill her from the start, since you must kill anyone who harms the world, which is why I'm here to express my thanks. Mother cares for me as if I was one of her children, and she cares for her real children just as much as she does towards me. Despite them being on her sister's side, she has not once hated them nor patronized them for their choices. Even if they don't like her, she will always love them. You should know a mother's love, shouldn't you? That of a parent in general is warm and gentle. I don't know. Archer breathed out, drying off his hands with a towel. I don't remember much about my past. My memories have eroded with time. Truthfully speaking, my real parents died long ago when I was a child. I lost all my memories of who I was back then before the tragedy that happened, and I never really knew what a mother's love was. But I did know a bit of parental love from my adoptive old man. He smirked. The man was lazy and did nothing, I'll tell you, but he was the reason why I wanted to do many things, because he showed me a path. But did that path not hurt you? Baoban asked, confused. You, even as a hero. I know what the feeling of sorrow and despair is, and you harbour a lot of it. Surely that must come from the path you walked down. That may be true. Archer said, but I don't hate my old man for it. I chose to walk down this path. All my mistakes are my butt, my faults. If anything else, I did this to myself. As a hero, I'll have to remain with the weight that is put down upon me. Yeah, Baoban said quietly. Her eyes stared at Archer's. Can I ask you something? Archer asked. It depends on what it is. This is something I wish to have your approval on. Given that you're Morgan's daughter, I think you need to have a say in this as well. Baoban stared at Archer confused. Something that needs to have her approval. What does this lousy familiar want? When the time comes, if she goes crazy or destroys the very world, Archer said. His gaze focused fully on Baoban Sith. Let me be the one to save her. Baoban widened her eyes at the man's words. Ah, so this is what he needed her approval for. She stared right into the man's soul with a serious voice. And what do you intend to do to save her? What will you do? She may think that the only way to save the world from herself is to kill her. But I don't think that's the only way. She told me directly to be the one to save her. I don't wish to kill her, despite all that she's done. All the humans she's killed. Did humans not kill monsters as well? All monsters aren't bad, right? And all humans aren't good. What defines good and bad is but a social construct. Made up, it's not real, it's made up by society. And you think not killing her would be accepted? I know it'll be hard. To be truthful, even I have my doubts about this, but I wish for both sides not to have one thing over the other perish. What are you inferring? That both sides be at peace. Baoban went silent. Her eyes widened as she couldn't help but laugh historically. You think something like that can happen? A treaty between humans and monsters? She continued to laugh. No? Her laughter died down as she stared at the bowman with a serious gaze. I know it's impossible, since both sides would refuse. Both people and monsters alike will not be fond of it indeed. This is the truth,